We all have dreams, and sometimes I know I had a dream to be the best in the world, and I wasn't sure if I really believed it. Obviously, his goal is to win the Mr. Olympia, I'm sure. There's no other pinnacle in our what we do in our careers. Well, how old are you now?
24.
Yes, so I turned pro at 23.
Same, so exact same.
I had just turned 23 at the Nationals, and back then, I mean, we had to win our class. I won my class. I lost the overall, but and then I was like, shoot, I'm a pro, and what am I going to do? Because at the time, it was like Flex Wheeler and Kevin Levrone, and all these guys were on top. So I'm like, I got to figure out what my next step is. So I was guest posing. I had signed a Weider contract, and I was financially making money. So I said, I'm going to take a year off, and then I'll come back and compete the next year. So I took off until, I turned pro in '96. So I took '97 off, competed at the Night of Champions, which is the New York Pro.
Oh, that's what that is.
In 1998, and I finished 11th. Coleman won that. Kevin Levrone was second. I think the biggest challenge was my conditioning, bringing in the right conditioning in order to have the size, structure, everything, to really to fill my frame, because I was rather wide, and I had to be extremely big in order to win. Where I think, you have a lot of aesthetics and you have the condition, you just need size now. So I think the issue with me is I had the size, I just needed to dial in the conditioning and bring in the balance. Which I think is your strong points. It's just now just gaining overall size in all the body parts.
Yeah, like getting lean is not too hard. I can do that, but it's I need to add.
And it's just years of training that's going to do that.
I just need to get density.
And leading into the show, there's a lot of hype that I could actually beat these guys.
Right. So that like placing 11th, you were probably pissed.
I was pissed. I was bummed out, and I was like, shit. Now I got to regroup, and of course I was concerned about my contracts and everything else. So I just went back to the drawing board, and I came back in '99, the beginning of the season. I did the Ironman and the Arnold, and that's when I got third and fourth in those shows, which was respectable. I mean, Nasser won the Arnold that year.
Wow.
That he had been trying to win for a while, that he hadn't won, and then that qualified me for the Olympia. And then I went into the next Olympia.
That's crazy.
And I finished second to last,
So and then again, you're like, wow. And that's crazy. And then you came back.
But I really thought I was going to, I thought, nowadays, you're thinking, okay, well, if you would have qualified, you probably would have done it. I think the guy should. I think, like a guy like Sergio, he qualified, he decided not to do it. I think he should have done it.
I would have done it.
It doesn't matter, I don't want to go and get 10th or whatever, or 12th.
Just make your mark and be up there. Yeah, that would be.
Because you never know.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, back then we didn't, any chance you got, you went to it.
For sure.
So I knew I was right there. It just took a little obstacle to get there, which I think is a lot of it's getting noticed. And I had the opportunity to stand next to Ronnie at that show because we drew consecutive numbers. And I really think in 2001, possibly if I didn't draw the number next to him, I wouldn't have been noticed as much when I stood there in the lineup.
It's crazy how
I was as impressive as he was, or better.
So when they saw you together,
they're like, holy
wow,
shit, Jay Cutler's
standing next to
here's
him.
A guy that wasn't even on the radar to be in the top 6.
I had one thing with a trainer in the gym. So I when I came here, now I'm working with Chris Lewis, and I'm finding it's helping a lot because it's like there's not a single workout that isn't good. Like no matter what, even if I'm not feeling it, he just pushes me through it. And every time.
So you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, it's like there's no thinking. Did you ever have a trainer?
No. I always did it on my own. I was kind of on my own schedule. I mean, I was trainer, in the morning, afternoon, middle of the night. I trained at all different times.
So different time. Oh, okay.
I can't. If someone says to me, all right, I'll see you at 1, then the day before, that's not how my schedule works. Because I got to make sure I get, you have to really be on schedule with your meals, and and I wasn't like that, because some nights I didn't sleep, so I allow myself to sleep later. Some days I get up early, and I'm like, fucking, I'm going to go to the gym now. So I
just how
to go
you
on my
felt,
own. I went by instinct a lot with my training and the diet.
Because I came to California for 3 weeks between the last show that I did. And that's when I started working with Chris Lewis, the trainer, and we were lifting heavy weights into the show. And I'd never done that before. I always kind of taper down. But I don't know, I think it helped grow a little bit into the show. But he had me eating 800 carbs a day for a week and a half.
yeah.
And I was like, damn, Chris, this is a lot of food, man. I was like, I mean, I like it. I like food.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, well, Jay and I, we did this for 6 weeks right into the show.
Yeah.
We didn't stop. Every day was a high day. I'm like, shit, I'll do that.
1,000
a
a day.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. But that's when I looked my best, you know?
Yeah.
There's no way you can have a bad workout when you're eating 800 carbs a day.
No.
You go in the gym in the first set, you're like...
You can't. Yeah.
But I mean, I remember going to the Mecca, like, for the first time when I was 19. Wow. And then I got a chance to stay, like, I stayed out there with Ed Connors when I was, like, 20.
That's
and then I went when I was 22.
You're still amateur, so you're coming up.
Yeah, and I remember back then, like, everyone trained there. It was like,
for sure.
Are you motivated when you go in there?
Yeah, very now. Yeah. It's actually getting better, I think. Like, more bodybuilders are coming back.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I'm new to there, but it just seems like there's a lot there, you know. But probably not like when you were there, you know. There was a ton.
Well, there were a lot more pros, but I think now the personalities blend together better.
Okay,
like you see you guys training all together, or like shooting video for each other and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like I see you with Von Moger doing stuff, and like we didn't have that really back then. It wasn't, the guys weren't really supportive as much because they were all going after. Remember, everyone was in one division.
Right.
So it's like I think, you know, you can separate some of these physique guys and say, okay, I'm never going to compete against you.
Right.
So it's
not
like
that competitive side,
and chasing money and everything else.
True.
And now, I mean, a lot of these guys are making money off their social platforms and through training and whatever, so they're not like challenging that kind of stuff. And I never was like that. I never really, I always tried to help people make money and finance their careers that way. It was a lot easier like that, especially the younger guys and the next generation. And I mean, let's put it this way, the older guys don't want to see the young guys come up and take position, that's for sure, you know. What are you aiming for the next contest, do you know?
I was thinking, so there's the New York Pro, and then, but I don't know. I was thinking of doing Toronto is like a week and a half later.
Yeah.
And that's in May or June, first week of June. And then the thing is with after that is there's Toronto, then there's like 6 more shows within like 8 weeks. So it's like if you don't get the first one, you can keep going.
Yeah.
But I feel like doing Toronto on my hometown.
That'd be better,
Yeah, I feel like that would be good.
So it's going to be consistently going to the gym on a day in, day out basis, but not having, I mean, every day is not going to be a rock star workout. You're going to have days where you walk in the gym and say, shoot, I don't want to be here. Even when you're in the mecca of bodybuilding, even when you're training for competitions and you're like looked upon as the leader of possible winning the show. Shoot, I was Mr. Olympia and I still question days I went to the gym. I'm like, I just shouldn't be here right now. But I still went through, and even if you go through the motions, you're getting out of the gym and you're resting and you're eating your food, which is every bodybuilder is eating, you know, as much as they can. You're going to miss meals here and there, but I know when you're home and as focused as you are, you're probably getting all your meals in. And, you know, that's the main thing, is just to have the, you know, consistency and the persistence to keep doing it and not get discouraged. I think the most thing is to stay positive, put yourself in the best environments you possibly can, follow the positivity of others if there's any influence. But to be honest, I had no, like if you said who is a role model, I didn't have role models. I created my own way, my own path. I admired Arnold and like Dorian and Ronnie Coleman and Kevin Love, all these guys for different things. But I know I looked upon myself as, listen, I'm going to learn to train my way. I'm going to learn to eat my way, and I'm going to follow a career path of my own way, not follow, oh, I want to be like this guy. I mean, obviously you can look at the champions and say, I want to be where Phil Heath is. And I want to win the Mr. Olympia, but you got to do it in your own fashion, because that's how you're going to write your legacy.